Hey everybody, I'm Adam. 7 years ago, I quit the American dream to travel to some of the most interesting places around the world.
Oh man, this one's just controversial and tough. Now, this is related to the time in Okinawa and the blue zone there. And is the American military killing the local culture and especially the blue zone? My sense was it was very shocking and very surprising to see how Americanized, how much sort of the southern part of Okinawa really seemed very American in a lot of ways. Lots of American restaurants and businesses, fast food. Is it killing it? It does seem like in some ways it is really affecting the local culture. Anybody that tells you that food isn't important or isn't a big part of culture is lying and deluding themselves. Food, I see it also here in Singapore. The hawker centers, these sort of open air food courts, they're such an integral part of day-to-day life here. So many people are involved in them one way or another. There's so much life around food here. And I'd say it's very similar in Japan. There's a lot of the convenience stores, the konbini, which, I guess originally was more American, but a lot was kind of adopted and even bought by Japanese corporations. But even like, for example, there's Lawson's Convenient Mart and A&W, which don't even exist in America anymore supposedly, but now they only exist in Japan. It does feel a little bit like it's infecting the local culture there. And food doesn't just impact the culture, it also impacts your health. So luckily the blue zone is quite far north, but still there are American military bases all over the island, more heavily in the bottom 2/3 of the island, but still they're widespread. And it's a very controversial subject in Japan because Okinawa is very small compared to the rest of the landmass in Japan, compared to mainland Japan, but it houses almost all of the American military bases, which there's a lot of complaints and frustration around this because they don't have a lot of space. They don't have a lot of land in the first place. They're a tiny little island, let alone being able to grow their own food and keep up with their traditions, their agriculture. That's very, very tough when most of the land, the arable, usable land, has been taken up by this foreign military force. I would probably be willing to go out on a ledge and say that in some ways it is killing the blue zone, especially in the bottom half of the island. I don't want to be anti-change. No, I don't want to be some traditionalist and very conservative and against change, but I'm not sure this is the type of change that we want to see in Okinawa.